Hey guys, what is up today? This is Dalsu with Dalsu Plays. Very excited to be presenting something new, something fabulous today. City Skylines just released a DLC, its first major DLC, After Dark. If you're not familiar with City Skylines, it is the best city builder ever made, bar none. Yes, I said it. I don't work for these people, but I wish I did. These devs have been fantastic since day one. They've got mod support, they do free patches all the time. In fact, this DLC released alongside a large free patch which adds tons of new content to the game. After Dark itself, the main feature is day and night cycles, something that's been requested for quite some time, and it also adds tons of new content which I haven't really explored in depth yet. If you're like me, you grew up playing games like Caesar and Pharaoh and all those classics of the city building genre, and for a long time, if you're also like me, there's been a hole in your soul where these games used to be and have no longer to be found, because for the last couple of years there's been a string of just really shitty city builder games released, and I'm not going to name any names or drop any bombs or anything like that, but you know who you are and you know what I'm talking about if you've played those games. City Skylines is the real deal though, and I'm happy to be sharing this with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump in. New game. If you're wondering, I did already record an episode number 1. But I'm having to redo it now because my settings were all messed up. I had it on 60 FPS thinking that my computer could handle Skylines at 60 FPS. I even put it up on the internet. Didn't realize it until someone said, hey man, the video's choppy. So that's why I'm redoing it. If you're wondering, hey, did this video change subtly? But he's kind of saying the same things, but he's kind of not. Well, this is take 2, so sorry about that. We're going to go with the New Orleans map. Before I do that, just real quickly, I'm going to run through my mods in case you're joining us for the first time. I don't want to bore you with a bunch of technical stuff, but mods are important in this game. We're going to do all areas purchasable, enhanced zoom, autoline color, city statistics, pedestrian crossing, traffic manager, traffic report tool, precision engineering, extended transport UI, tree brush, traffic plus, extended building information mod. Those are kind of the basic 101 package, nothing too fancy there. Those are the ones that are popular, well-known, and add content to the game. They're just the ones I use. If you've got other suggestions, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments. Please do. I love it when you guys comment. We're going to start a new game. We are going to be on the New Orleans map. Keep in mind, by the way, that no one actually says Nolans. That's a kind of rumor. In fact, you can tell a lot about what part of the city someone's from and what their class background is by the way they pronounce New Orleans. You have these really blue-blooded people from, St. Charles Avenue and all this kind of stuff, and they say New Orleans. And then you have kind of the lower class people who kind of say something similar to New Orleans. I can't actually do it myself. But I love the city, and I just want to preface this by saying that if you are a person who is familiar with New Orleans, this series is going to pay homage to New Orleans, and I'm going to try to make it beautiful just like the real New Orleans is, but I am not copying or seeking to recreate an accurate portrait of the city. I would be crazy to try to do that. It would drive me absolutely nuts to try to get all this, let me turn this volume down, to try to get everything just like the real city is and all that kind of stuff. So don't leave me a comment, if you're a New Orleans native saying, oh, that's not where Decatur Street is. Decatur Street's 4 blocks away. I know, I live here, but I don't really care about accuracy on this. This is a blank canvas for me to just have fun with in the shape of the city that I love so much, and it's going to just be fun to kind of repaint the city in the way that I want to do it. Hopefully I'll be able to make some improvements, because honestly, New Orleans is horribly optimized for traffic. Anything that you do with even just the slightest bit of efficiency in mind is going to blow away the current traffic system in New Orleans. So I'm going to be aiming for that as well. If you're not familiar with the city, I'll just do a quick rundown. This is where the French Quarter is, about right here. That's the original city that was settled in 1707, something like very early 1700s. Founded there because it's the highest land in the city. The rest of this is kind of low and swampy, so they originally settled there because, well, they thought it probably wouldn't flood so bad as the rest. This is what's called the Marigny area and St. Roch and all that. If you're familiar with New Orleans because of Katrina, you'll know that this area here is the 9th Ward, which is most badly hit. I believe it was somewhere up here where the levee burst, filling the city with water, inundating us all. On this side we have what's called, right here would be the Warehouse District, then the Garden District, and all the muses. And over here we have like the university neighborhood, also called Uptown. Over here you'd have like Carrollton. This would be Mid-City. This would be Metairie and all that, Kenner and all those suburbs and stuff. So now that the geography lesson's over, let's just jump into the actual game. Very excited to check out all this new content. I'm going to do it right this time. My video is recording, hopefully perfectly. I don't want any more stuttering. So the graphics are pretty good in this game. And I have a pretty good graphics card, so we should be able to handle it. I did turn off like the depth of field because it was making everything all woozy, and I didn't really like that. So we're going to start kind of where the original settlers started, which was this little bend in the river where the French Quarter is. Now, I'm not going to make it exactly like the French Quarter, but I'm going to do my best to kind of follow the bend of the river with my first road, which is going to be like a Decatur Street, if you're familiar. And I find that like the slower I do things, the better they end up. I don't want to bore you guys, but it is better if I don't just click, 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 in other words. So from there, this is not a very accurate French Quarter, I don't think, but it goes up something like this. Can I not make this kind of straight? Well, I guess that's good enough. No, you know what? I don't really like that. I want to make it kind of straight. Perhaps I'm using the wrong tool. Let's try this again. We're going to unsnap it, and see, it wants to go absolutely straight, but I don't want it to. I want it to go like kind of like this. This is how what I want it, really. I'll tell you what, let's just do a road there. That'll be fine. It's a little bit longer than I wanted, but that'll be fine. The French Quarter is what, like 8 blocks by 16 blocks, I want to say? Something like that. We don't have to make it like the exact French Quarter is, but we're going to kind of follow the pattern. So this will be... It goes about like that, yeah. And then from there, we kind of go up and over. It's not going to let me do a perfect snap, huh? That'll be fine. And I'll do another block like this. Try to get it to come out the way I like it. Something like there. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good start. It's not symmetrical, and I'm not aiming to be symmetrical at all. We don't want to overbuild here. We only have a certain amount of money. So let's go ahead and drop down the kind of basic necessities that we need. First of all is a sewage pipe, which is going to be down here. And the second thing is drinking water out of the Mississippi. You guys have to be fucking insane to drink the water out of the Mississippi. If you're from out of town, just don't drink the water. That's nasty water. That water comes all the way from Pennsylvania to Colorado on the other side to St. Louis and all the way down and ends up in New Orleans. And by the time it gets down there, it's got a few things in it. It's not uncommon to see like a damn armchair float by or whatever, you know. So don't drink the water. This game is obviously not meant to be realistic or taken as medical advice by anyone ever. So we'll do something like that. I know my lack of symmetry may be bugging some of you who are self-prescribed OCD people, but I don't believe in you know, straight lines. I'm the color outside of the lines kind of guy. Yeah, we'll put it that way. All right, we're gonna slap down a wind turbine. We do not actually have any wind turbines in New Orleans. It's way too flat for that kind of thing. Plus, New Orleans is just a little bit behind in terms of social progressiveness, maybe I want to say. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm from the Deep South, and I love the South, and I don't really like, you know, people who always go on about saving the earth. Not that there's anything wrong with saving the earth, it's just save yourselves first, man. You know, that's kind of my 2 cents. Don't listen to me. I'm not a political pundit or anything like that. But I just, you know, some people prioritize things in certain ways, and perhaps people in the South prioritize things slightly differently. We kind of have the sinking ship mentality, you might say. Like, you know, we're all going down, and there's no sense in trying to polish the brass on the Titanic, as the movie Fight Club so eloquently put it. So yeah, there's not a lot of wind turbines, is what I mean to say. But in this new New Orleans, by the way, let's go ahead and slap the name on. I'm going to call it something boring and Anglo like Westdale. I can't type today. There we go. New Orleans. Alright, so we've got some residential area, and actually this is a little bit wrong because the north part of the French Quarter is way more residential than the south part. South part, mostly bars, titty bars, yes. Bars without titties as well, and bead shops, yeah, things like that. Bourbon Street would be about here, for those of you who are familiar with Bourbon Street. Yeah, this would be, see if I can remember. This would be Royal Street. No, Chartres Street, then Royal Street, then Bourbon Street. Okay, now I got it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with that. We are going to need to queue up some kind of industrial area pretty soon. We'll kind of blow that off just for a minute. We don't have a hookup to our sewage pipe. We need that. And do both of these things have power? You have power, you have power, you guys have power. It's all good. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to begin. Can we do this? Can we build some buildings finally? That's nice. All right. I need to connect to my highway, of course. I knew that. You guys were probably yelling at your screens there. Connect to the damn highway, you idiot. And I was gonna do it. Don't worry. You guys didn't catch me doing anything. Probably start like this. This will be like a kind of Rampart Street type thing. And we'll do a kind of canal street that comes down like that. Ties in there. I like that. And then we're going to do a very simple highway connection just because we don't have the technology to do anything better right now. This is like terribly inefficient, bad way to connect to your highway, but I'm going to do it anyway because I like to kind of grow small at first, you know, kind of get my technology unlocked and get some money coming in my coffers, get solvent. And that takes a little while before you can really optimize things. You have to crawl before you walk, right? Somebody said that. I don't know who said that, but all right. So our industrial area probably going to be over here. This is the warehouse district / CBD area in New Orleans. High-rise commercial buildings. I say high-rise. I mean, we don't have anything over, what, 30 stories in New Orleans? It's not like you New Yorkers, you know, with your bedrock foundations. We got silt. You can't build a big skyscraper on silt. It'll just fall over. So our biggest buildings are not actually big buildings at all. Okay, we are growing a little bit. Does not look very French Quarter-y, but that's okay. This building is like slightly French Quarter-y. This is definitely not. We don't have like suburban houses and stuff in the French Quarter. It's more like it's more a little bit European, I would say. Okay, let's go ahead and pause it there, and we will start a little bit of industrial area over here. I'm going to try not to make more than that one intersection for right now. Maybe we can go down to like here and then... Why is it wanting to curve that way? I don't want you to curve that way. I want you to curve more naturally. Natural is good. Let's just redo this here. Alright. Curve down here and like meet up. You meet up. Why does it want to always do that? I think that's fine. That's kind of janky, but whatever. Yeah, that looks pretty good for a start. So from there, I think we do something like this. Yeah, that looks okay. One more maybe. And split the middle this direction. That looks good. Okay, and we paint that with pretty much all industrial stuff. I guess we'll start off with just that and then expand on that as we need, because we don't even have any, desire for that currently. We'll make sure that they have water and all that kind of good stuff. Boom. Okay, now about this night cycle. I want to see it. I mean, I've already seen it because I already did this video take once. But it is amazing. It is beautiful. It's great. You guys have to see it. So since we're all about seeing that, I guess I'll go ahead and speed up the time. We've only got about 5 minutes left to enjoy it. Yeah, it's growing quite nicely, actually. So, in the real New Orleans, French Quarter comes out like that, and then there's Claiborne Avenue. Claiborne Avenue is like kind of runs under the interstate, actually. They built the interstate on top of it. Then it like joins the interstate for a little while, and then it kind of becomes its own road down here. I'm not really sure. I don't have a map handy, but it's a little weird to drive on. So we'll probably do something like that. And this will probably be a residential area, I'm thinking. I don't know. That canal could be quite useful for like shipping and stuff. This is Lake Pontchartrain, by the way. This is the lake that actually flooded the city. It was not the river. Misconception. It was actually the lake. The lake swelled with the storm surge, and all the water went up into these canals, and then it just popped the levees down. The land by the river is actually some of the highest in the city because of the silt deposits over thousands and thousands and probably millions of years, actually. So now it's nighttime. Look at that. That is a perfect Mississippi sunset if I've ever seen one. Yep. Mississippi turns all golden and pink in the sunset. And here we are. This is the day-night cycle. It's freaking beautiful, man. Look at that. I feel like I need to listen to some like 90s music and just kind of cruise down the road, you know, with like a leather glove. Anyway. The river is flowing all night, as it tends to do. Over here in our little industrial area, we've started to grow. And we've started to grow here. Hopefully this video has been smooth and beautiful, and the graphics have been okay, and everything's been alright. Because it's very important to me. This is the first video of a series. I'm trying to get some new subscribers. I'm trying to build a bigger audience for what I do, which is strategy gaming and city buildings and things like that. If you like this kind of thing, please help me out. Please subscribe. It would be great to have you guys again and again for all my future videos. I'm just starting out, but I plan to do this for quite a while. I'm really, really getting a lot of pleasure out of doing this. So thanks for watching. This has been Dalsu for Dalsu Plays, doing City Skylines After Dark, and we're going to continue the series right after this. So I'll see you next time.